There are moments in life when your heart whispers, "Why is it taking so long?" You see others rising, others receiving, others stepping into what looks like acceleration, and you wonder if heaven has forgotten your name. But destiny is never rushed, and promise is never delayed. There is a divine clock that does not move by fear, impatience, or pressure, it moves by purpose. God's timing is not delay, it is protection. Sometimes He slows you down because what is being prepared is far bigger than what you prayed for. What you are asking for is small compared to what He is shaping behind the scenes. He makes you wait because He is aligning hearts, opening paths, shifting circumstances, clearing obstacles, and preparing the room where your blessing will sit. Nothing He does is random. Nothing He allows is wasted. Every second has intention stamped upon it. What looks still is never truly still. Heaven is moving even when earth is quiet. You may feel the silent weight of waiting, but silence is where God plants the deepest roots. Silence is where conviction forms, where clarity grows, where strength is built. There are things He cannot give you until you are ready to hold them without fear, without insecurity, without losing yourself. The blessing is big, so big that it would overwhelm the version of you from yesterday. That is why He waits. That is why He stretches. That is why He refines. And when you attempt to rush the process, you step ahead of the grace that was meant to carry you. Rushing may open a door, but only timing can keep it open. Many people force seasons they are not built for and then wonder why the wait becomes unbearable. What God gives, He sustains. What you force, you must sustain yourself. Waiting is not weakness, waiting is wisdom. It is the recognition that the one who wrote your future knows exactly when to turn the page. Every season of stillness is pregnant with purpose. You think nothing is happening, but everything is happening within you. He is maturing your character, sharpening your discernment, stretching your faith, and teaching your spirit to trust Him beyond what you see. The version of you that will hold the promise must be stronger, wiser, more anchored than the version that asked for it. You cannot receive a big destiny with a small mindset. Growth takes time, and time is His tool. What He has written for you is big, far bigger than what you expected, greater than what you imagined, deeper than what you believed. And big things never arrive early. They arrive when everything is aligned: your heart, your maturity, your readiness, your surroundings, your strength. Heaven releases greatness only on schedule. And when the schedule is fulfilled, nothing on earth and nothing in hell can stop what is coming. Do not rush God's timing. Do not force the door. Do not panic in the waiting. You are not behind, you are being positioned. Nothing is late when it is led by God, and when He finally moves, it will not be small. It will not be ordinary. It will not be something you can explain. It will be big, bigger than your prayer, bigger than your hope, bigger than your imagination. What is coming is worth every second of patience, because when it arrives, you will understand why He made you wait. God's timing is not delay. It is divine preparation for something greater than your imagination. What feels slow to you is often perfect speed to heaven. There are prayers you think should have been answered by now, opportunities you feel you should already be walking in, and doors you believe should have opened long ago. But God sees the entire picture while you only see a single frame. What you interpret as waiting is often the precise moment He is aligning things with a level of wisdom you cannot perceive. He delays nothing. He prepares everything. And preparation takes time because greatness requires structure, foundation, and maturity before it is revealed. If a blessing comes before you are ready, it becomes a burden. If a promotion arrives before your character is formed, it collapses under pressure. God is not protecting your patience. He is protecting your destiny. He knows the weight of what you are asking for and the strength required to carry it. You may be praying for increase, but increase demands discipline. You may be praying for influence, but influence requires integrity. You may be praying for acceleration, but acceleration requires stability. So while you think nothing is happening, heaven is actually working on you, stretching you, refining you, healing you, testing you, strengthening you for the size of the blessing He has prepared. There are relationships being moved out of your life because they cannot go where God is taking you. There are opportunities being withheld because they are too small for the future He designed. There are people you wanted to impress who never saw your value, because God is reserving your unveiling for a room that matches your anointing. Every closed door is a part of the preparation. Every delay is intentional. Every pause is purposeful. Nothing that belongs to your destiny can arrive early, because early arrival would crush what it was meant to elevate. Sometimes the preparation is internal. God works in the deep places, shaping your thoughts, shifting your desires, maturing your responses, building your endurance. He lets you walk through seasons that feel like silence, because silence is where identity is strengthened. He allows slow progress because slow progress produces depth. He allows you to feel hidden because hidden seasons develop humility, and humility is what protects you when the blessing arrives. What God is building within you is far bigger than what you think you are waiting for. And when the appointed time comes, you will see why He made you wait. You will understand why certain things couldn't happen earlier, why certain people couldn't stay, why certain prayers seemed unanswered. It will suddenly make sense that the delay was not denial, it was divine preparation. When God finally releases what He has prepared, it will fit your life perfectly. It will carry peace, purpose, and power. It will not be fragile or temporary. It will be bigger, better, richer, and more meaningful than anything you imagined. And you will say, if I had received this earlier, I would not have been ready. God's timing is never late. It is simply perfect. What feels slow on earth is often accelerated in heaven. He is aligning what you cannot see. You measure time by days, months, and years, but God measures time by alignment, readiness, and purpose. You look at your life and feel as if nothing is moving, nothing is shifting, nothing is improving, as though destiny has paused and forgotten you. But heaven is not still. Heaven is strategic. Heaven is deliberate. Heaven is coordinating what your eyes cannot yet perceive. When you think things are delayed, God is often pulling together pieces that must meet at the exact second for His plan to unfold flawlessly. There are connections being prepared, hearts being softened, opportunities being shaped, and solutions being set in motion long before they ever appear in your life. While you are waiting, God is orchestrating divine meetings, removing obstacles, redirecting harmful paths, and positioning people who will be essential to your future. What looks like a slow season on earth is sometimes the busiest season in heaven, full of movement and heavenly coordination you know nothing about. You see silence. God sees strategy. You see delay. God sees the perfect setup. If He allowed certain things to arrive too early, they would not fit the version of you He is still developing. If He sent certain people before you matured, you might mishandle what was meant to elevate you. If He opened doors before the right environment was prepared, the blessing would fall into unstable conditions. God does not rush destiny. He times it with precision so that when the moment comes, everything aligns. Your character, your relationships, your opportunities, your strength, your wisdom, and your spiritual foundation. This is why He sometimes holds you in places that feel still. He is slowing you externally while accelerating everything internally and spiritually. He is working behind curtains you cannot lift, in atmospheres you cannot access, and in hearts you cannot influence. You may feel like nothing is happening, but what you cannot see is often far more powerful than what you can. God is preparing outcomes that will not just bless you. They will protect you, sustain you, and position you for long-term purpose. Quick breakthroughs are exciting, but aligned breakthroughs are life-changing. When the appointed time arrives, the speed of His blessing will astonish you. What seemed stuck for years can shift in moments when heaven releases the command. What felt impossible will suddenly unfold with ease. The people you needed will appear. The opportunities you prayed for will open, and the clarity you long for will flood your spirit. What took time to prepare will take only seconds to manifest, and you will realize that nothing was slow at all. It was moving at divine speed, divine order, divine purpose. Trust the unseen alignment. Trust the silent movement. Trust that God is orchestrating far more than your eyes can grasp. What feels slow to you is actually being accelerated in heaven, and when it reaches you, it will be perfect, complete, powerful, and right on time. Rushing ahead of God creates outcomes your strength must maintain. Waiting invites outcomes His power sustains. There is a danger in forcing something before its time, because anything you birth in your own strength must also be carried by your own strength. When you push yourself into opportunities God has not yet endorsed, you step into rooms where the grace to remain has not been released. You may open a door, but you will not have the spiritual stability to keep it open. You may build something with your ambition, but ambition cannot sustain what only anointing was meant to hold. When you rush, you inherit pressure that was never meant for you. Many people collapse under the weight of blessings they forced too early. They prayed for increase, but did not wait for the character required to handle it. They prayed for influence, but rushed into positions where their hearts were unprepared for the attention. They prayed for love, but ran ahead of God into relationships that drained their spirit and delayed their purpose. Rushing may feel like progress, but it is often self-sabotage disguised as movement. There is a timing to destiny, a rhythm to purpose, and when you step ahead of it, you create a future built on your own energy instead of God's strength. But waiting, though uncomfortable, invites the supernatural. Waiting is not idleness. Waiting is surrender. It is acknowledging that God knows the right moment, the right season, the right alignment far better than you do. When you wait for His release, you inherit not only the blessing but also the power to sustain it. His timing carries support you cannot produce by yourself. What He opens, He protects. What He gives, He fortifies. What He establishes, no storm can destroy. When you wait, you step into divine momentum rather than human effort. Waiting refines you while delaying nothing. It stretches your patience, deepens your wisdom, and strengthens your discernment. It prepares your spirit to handle the blessing with humility, gratitude, and discipline. Many breakthroughs look sudden, but they were actually the result of long seasons of obedience and restraint. Waiting gives you capacity. Rushing exposes your weakness, but waiting reveals His strength. When it is His timing, the blessing will not exhaust you. It will elevate you. It will not drain you. It will empower you. It will not crumble. It will stand because His hand holds it in place. Some seasons feel like God is doing nothing, but He is actually preventing you from constructing a life you'll later be forced to escape. He withholds certain things because He sees danger you do not. He slows you down because the path ahead requires more endurance, more purity, more clarity than you currently carry. His pause is mercy. His delay is protection. His silence is strategy. And when the moment finally arrives, everything He gives will come with peace, provision, and power. When you wait on God, you do not inherit stress, you inherit strength. You do not chase outcomes, they find you. You do not struggle to maintain. You simply steward what His hand sustains. Trust His timing, because what comes from Him will never depend on your strength to survive. It will stand because He sent it. Every season of stillness is shaping you for a blessing that requires a matured version of you. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the classroom where God develops who you must become before He releases what you have been praying for. You may feel hidden, overlooked, paused, or forgotten, but heaven is using this quiet season to strengthen parts of you that speed never touches. Growth often happens in silence, away from applause, away from attention, away from the noise of expectations. Stillness is where roots deepen so that when the blessing comes, you can stand without shaking. There are blessings you are destined to receive, but they demand a wiser, steadier, clearer version of you. God cannot place heavy responsibility on an unstable foundation. He cannot give you influence if your identity is still fragile. He cannot give you abundance if your discipline is inconsistent. He cannot give you relationships aligned with destiny if your heart still entertains old patterns that sabotage your progress. Stillness becomes the divine workshop where He molds your character, purifies your intentions, and builds the emotional and spiritual muscle required for the next level. You think nothing is happening, but everything is happening within you. Your patience is being stretched, your faith is being strengthened, your discernment is being sharpened. Stillness exposes your distractions and forces you to confront what you've been avoiding. It separates you from people and environments that once felt comfortable, but were quietly limiting your growth. It reveals parts of yourself that need healing, habits that need breaking, and beliefs that need upgrading. This internal transformation is not punishment, it is preparation. The blessing is too valuable to be placed in unprepared hands. In stillness, God teaches you how to hear Him without depending on noise or signs. He teaches you to trust Him even when nothing changes externally. He teaches you to stand firm when you cannot see evidence, but must rely on promise. These lessons mature your spirit so you can carry victory with humility, responsibility, and stability. If He gave you the blessing before stillness matured you, you would mishandle what was meant to elevate your life. Many people receive too early and lose what was meant to define their future. God loves you too much to let premature blessings crush you. And so He hides you for a season. He slows you down. He confines your circle. He reduces your noise. He trims your attachments. He refines your desires. Stillness becomes sacred because it shapes you quietly into someone who can handle the weight of what is coming. The next blessing is not average, it is large. It requires a level of emotional strength, spiritual depth, and mental clarity that only stillness can produce. When the blessing finally arrives, you will recognize why the stillness was necessary. You will see that the version of you that entered this season could not have handled its magnitude. The maturity built in silence will meet the opportunity released in God's timing, and the blessing will not overwhelm you. It will fit you. You will not struggle to carry it. You will be prepared to steward it with grace, authority, and wisdom. Stillness was not delay. It was the crafting of the version of you that destiny requires. What God wrote for you is too big to arrive early. Greatness comes on schedule, never on impulse. Nothing destined for your life is random or rushed. Heaven does not operate through panic, pressure, or impatience. God does not release greatness because you are tired of waiting. He releases it when the moment, the environment, your heart, and your character are aligned with what He planned before you were even born. Early arrival would only shrink the blessing or strain your strength, because what He has written for you carries weight, responsibility, and influence that demand preparation. Greatness is not microwaved, it is matured. There are things you are praying for that cannot come until the version of you that can carry them is fully formed. Early blessings often become burdens. Early open doors often expose immaturity. Early influence can magnify weaknesses that still need healing. God withholds not to punish, but to protect. He knows the future you are stepping into, the magnitude of the impact you will make, and the challenges that come with big destiny. So He prepares you slowly, quietly, thoroughly. What feels like a delay is often God enlarging your capacity, so when the blessing comes, it does not crush you. It crowns you. Greatness has a schedule because destiny has a process. Seeds do not bloom in winter. Eagles do not fly before their wings strengthen. Rain does not fall before clouds gather. Everything powerful requires time, alignment, and formation. You cannot rush what heaven is arranging. You cannot accelerate what God is perfecting. You cannot demand what He is still building around you. The bigger the blessing, the more precise the timing. Premature abundance brings chaos, but appointed abundance brings peace. When God's timing manifests, everything fits. Resources, connections, opportunities, strength, and clarity all come together in a way your efforts could never manufacture. Impulse tries to jump ahead. Purpose waits for orchestration. Impulse pushes you to chase what is not ready. Purpose prepares you to receive what is meant. Impulse leads to mistakes, regrets, and unnecessary battles. Purpose leads to stability, longevity, and supernatural ease. When you rush, you settle. When you wait, you receive what was tailored for your destiny. Heaven never sends incomplete blessings. It only releases what is fully matured and ready to transform your life. One day, the door that stayed shut for years will open with effortless grace. One moment will redefine every season of waiting. One opportunity will make sense of every delay. God will release what He promised in a way so precise, so beautiful, so powerful that you will say, "If this came earlier, I would have missed the fullness of it." The schedule He follows is not earthly, it is eternal. And eternity never arrives early, it arrives perfectly. What is written for you is big, too big to be rushed, too significant to be premature, too divine to be handled by impulse. Trust that when the appointed time comes, greatness will not just enter your life, it will fit you, elevate you, and establish you exactly where God intended from the beginning. When all these truths come together, you begin to see that your waiting was never wasted. Every slow season was sharpening you, every silent chapter was strengthening you, every delay was aligning you with something far greater than what you would have chosen for yourself. God was not withholding, He was preparing. He was not ignoring your prayers, He was perfecting the answer. And when the moment arrives, and it will arrive, it will come with a force and a fullness that no human effort could have produced. The blessing will fit your hands, your heart, and your destiny because it was crafted for the person you have become through the waiting. So do not lose heart. Do not rush. Do not compare your process with someone else's progress. What is coming to you is not ordinary. It is appointed. It is not small. It is significant. It is not fragile. It is fortified by heaven itself. God's timing will not just meet your expectations, it will exceed them in ways that leave you humbled, grateful, and in awe of His precision. Hold steady, stay faithful, keep growing. The promise has not been cancelled, it is simply maturing. And when it finally manifests, you will look back at every tear, every delay, every lonely night, every silent season and say, "Now I understand." Because what God has written for you is too big to fail, too intentional to be delayed by circumstance, and too powerful to miss you. Your blessing is not late, it is on schedule. And when it comes, your life will never be the same again.